he wants to explain to Narada that he wants to explain to Narada to say, well, you know, no, I'm not that important. I'm really not that important. Even so you see me as the engineer of the universe, I'm really not that important. I'm an instrument. I get to be an instrument, and we get to be an instrument. All of us, we get to be an instrument of the Lord. Last night I was reading in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, there is a story of Nakula Brahman. And Nakula Brahman, it was a Brahman that was very, very pure. He was very pure in his habits. He was like free from sinful activities. He was very pure in his habits. And so Lord Chaitanya kind of entered him. He just entered him. He just entered him. And then Nakula became very empowered to transform people's lives. And in that part.
What does it mean, entered him?
Entered him. This guy completely entered him. And then all of a sudden people were approaching him, and people were getting transformed just in being in contact with him. It's a part of the Chaitanya Charitamrita where Lord Chaitanya is described as delivering the whole universe, like everywhere. And he said by meeting them directly or by empowering his devotees. And in the purport, Srila Prabhupada explained that unless we are empowered by the Lord, we are not going to deliver the whole world. And, you know, in a sense, we can see that Srila Prabhupada has had that empowerment, such Dervish avatar. I mean, he's empowered Jiva to serve the living entities, to really make a difference by his presence. So that sense of humility that will lead us to be an instrument like Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma became an instrument of the Lord. So I like to speak about like how we can become an instrument of Srila Prabhupada. You know, Srila Prabhupada, we can be the hand of Srila Prabhupada, the legs. We're maybe not going to save the whole world, but we can do our part. We can do our part in Srila Prabhupada's movement. Srila Prabhupada is still delivering people every day. Srila Prabhupada's presence is so felt, and we can also support him and be fully engaged as his instrument to continue his mission. His mission is going to continue with or without us. Like creation will have taken place even without this Brahma. I think this Brahma is a forehead Brahma, the Brahma of our universe. Of course, there is so many Brahmas in every universe. There is a Brahma, but that's one Brahma we are hearing from. And so you know, the mission of Lord Chaitanya is going to move on. The mission of Srila Prabhupada is going to move on with or without us. Now the choice for us is to decide, do I want to be part of that, or do I want to continue to battle with the wave again and again and be tossed there and tossed there and tossed there and again. So I quote of a verse that seems to be popular these days in our little community. Tina dapi sunichina taorapi saushina amanina manadina kirtaniya sadahari. So to think of that verse, because that verse is a recipe for that ability to chant, to not stop kirtan, to not stop sankirtan, to be an instrument of Krishna, to be able to reach out to people and support them to also like get into the boat of Srila Prabhupada as the captain, and the boat that help us cross the material energy. My little boat did help me across the ocean, I want to say. And we faced like wind of like 120 kilometers. We went outside of the boat, and it was so windy that we didn't have control of our legs. It's kind of scary to not control, like find my legs being like smashed by the wind. We had to go out to put the sail down and secure the boat. And then we went inside. And as long as we stayed in a boat, we were okay, even in the biggest storm. So similarly, as long as we stay protected by the instruction of the spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada, to chant every day, regardless if we feel like it or not, to just chant every day. Chant is going to take us through the ocean, to follow the four regulatory principles. The four regulatory principles, they elevate us. They elevate us. And as long as we stay in that boat and serve Srila Prabhupada and serve his mission, then yes, there will be waves, there will be winds, there will be storms, there will be hurricanes are going to come. They are always coming, and we don't know when next is going to come. Maybe we feel happy right now, everything is okay, but a hurricane can come anytime. Like there is not even a season for a hurricane to just come. And so to be prepared by knowing, okay, well, no matter what's happened, I'm going to chant 16 rounds a day at least. No matter what's happened, I'm going to follow the four regulatory principles. And that's a boat that's offered to us. You know, we can, you know, maybe go inside the boat and out and in and out, and we will feel the effect of the ocean. Or we can dive into that ocean, that boat, and really let the captain knows, he knows the ocean. He knows how dangerous it is. He knows all aspects of it, the same way that Lord Brahma, he knows all aspects of the material creation. He understands it very deeply. So we can look at, one need to be more humble than the straw, than the grass, like that. So Prabhupada said when he speaks about that the grass can be trampled over and it doesn't react. It doesn't say anything. And I was thinking about that when I was chanting. I didn't know what the verse would be, but I knew I will give class. And I was thinking, you know, like humility, sometimes, Yogovinda, you said it's knowing our position. And it seems that it's knowing our position, both spiritual and material. So spiritual position is knowing that we are servant of Krishna. We are part and parcel of Krishna, and we are servant of Krishna. And as such, we are so radiant, beautiful, amazing. And that's the truth. We are amazing. We don't need to put any effort. That's our constitutional position, to be amazing. The soul is amazing. And we have 50 qualities of Krishna. So we have, like we compare, like we have the ocean, again, an ocean analogy, and then we have the drop in the ocean, and they are of the same nature. So we are of the same nature of Krishna. We are Chintamani, atoms, like spiritual atom. That's our nature. And so that's knowing our position and knowing our position in the material world. Knowing like we are spirit soul having a human experience. Knowing that we are born in Kali Yoga. Knowing that truthfulness is the last leg of religion. And I was meditating on that because that's one aspect. And my sense is that those four principles that are, you know, like basis for religion is like austerity, cleanliness, compassion, and then truthfulness. So the three others, they don't exist right now. They don't exist. They are not, you know, unless someone really endeavor to develop them. Even that, in Kali Yoga, we don't have much cleanliness. You know, even if we endeavor, like, you know, devotees, we endeavor to be clean, we are so far from cleanliness, so far from any type of cleanliness. You know, I have so many habits. I touch my feet, my face, you know, just so many habits, so many ways of cleaning. You know, like that's, we are not even touching a drop of what cleanliness is. And so same thing with austerity. You know, it's like so many of us who struggle getting up at 4:30 in the morning. Like, well, it's such a small austerity. So like, what, no problem. Prabhupada, it's not even enough from Prabhupada's perspective. Getting up in the morning, chanting 16 rounds, following four principles, it's not even an austerity. It's just like normal human life. It's just normal human life. It's nothing special. It's good for the health. Any healing modality will tell us it's good to get up early in the morning. So it's like whatever we call austerity, it's not even austerity. It's just Kali Yoga. We're not capable of austerity. And then compassion. No, that's true. And then compassion, compassion. Yeah, like compassion, of course. Like we see most of the world, they don't have compassion. They support terrible treatment of animals. They support so much violence. There is so much violence on earth between human beings. So, okay, so we can step out of that. We can step out of, being part of any animal killing or animal torturing. And even that's difficult. Even that's difficult to really do it completely. It's really hard. And then we can be nice. But then be nice often, what I see in my clients is that, okay, you're nice boy, you're a nice girl, you like to please others, but then there is no self-compassion. So even if people externally seems compassionate or nice, usually behind it, there is not even self-compassion. So what I was meditating this morning during my japa is that kind of truthfulness is going to balance out all that. Because by truthfulness, we are going to come to humility. Humility is that I am not clean. Humility is that I'm really not austere. Humility is that I have no compassion. So through that truthfulness, we can come to a place of humility. And in that humility, we become more and more qualified to be an instrument of the Lord, regardless. Like, humility is being like, yeah, I'm judgmental. Yes, I am, not, following as strictly as I would like. Humility is really coming to a place of acknowledging my struggle, acknowledging my shortcomings, acknowledging everything about myself without making excuses, without trying to rationalize them out. And that's difficult. That's difficult because we so much want to be someone. We have so much emotional attachment to expectation to be that big person, to be someone we are not, that for us to let go of that and be like, yeah, that's me. That's who I am. I have those shortcomings. I have those weakness in my character. I have inability to be clean, inability to be compassionate or austere. Then that qualified us. And I was really seeing like, yeah, I can see, oh, that's the last leg, but that last leg could almost compensate for all the other one if we are honest with it. And so that's humility. Humility is first on the list of so many qualification to practice devotional service. And then the next one is tolerant, more tolerant than a tree. Srila Prabhupada said a tree gives so much, tree can give fruits, a tree gives shade for us to protect ourselves. We can protect ourselves from so many things, and then he gives wood when it dies. He keep giving, the tree keep giving. And even so the tree doesn't even say anything when it's cut. So Prabhupada gives that example of like tolerance is to be able to continue to give even when we are cut. To continue to give even when we are cut, tolerating without being disturbed. And that tolerance is going to come, together with humility. Because if we understand that we put ourselves here, like we are creating, we are the core of our material conditioning and co-creation with the Lord. If we do understand that, then we can receive any cut that may come to us in a way of like, yeah, I really deserve that. I really deserve whatever is happening in my life. And further, saying I deserve it, and the Lord is so kind that He's using what I deserve to give me self-realization, to allow me to realize how to go to Him. Like recently in a foundational course, I had such an aha moment. It was very, very special to me, and I want to really cultivate and cherish that moment. But I was thinking about a recurring situation in my life that I go into victim mode about. Like I go into like, anger, angst, and I try to avoid thinking about it. I try to avoid, I try to avoid it basically. And because I know if I go to that situation the way in the paradigm I was in, then I know I can tap into an ocean of anger. And then I was thinking about that, and I was thinking, and I was chanting and praying to the Lord. And then all of a sudden, I could see how that very situation not only served me in this lifetime, but has the potential to serve me for many, many lifetimes if I need to come back here. Freeing me from some things that's so entangling in the material world that it became like such a boon for me. And in that moment, I really saw like, I really felt Krishna with me, giving me that realization of the boon of that situation and the boon of carrying that into eternity, and really qualifying me like to do so much better in my next life if I do come as if I do come again in a material world. That really qualified me so much. So that's tolerance and humility going together, and devoid of all sense of prestige, false prestige. Prestige is an interesting thing, is that prestige is thinking we are important. We are so important. We are so important. Don't you think I am important? I want you to tell me I'm important. I'm so important. So false prestige is really being in a madness. It's like madness, insanity, to think that I am important, and that this conditioning of this Mariglashing, Malini Devidasi is important in any way of shape. Within a few years, is going to disappear. Within a few years, nobody will ever know that these things ever existed. That little persona, cartoon character ever existed. To think that this cartoon character is important, it's insanity. And that's our false prestige. We think it's important, and you need to be recognized by others as important. And if people don't recognize that it is important, then we hate them. We do. We hate them. So this is insanity too. Yes. So devoid of all sense of false prestige, and then ready to offer all respect to others. And that's a hard one, I found. Like really to offer respect to others. I think it's a hard one in so many ways. But then I was also thinking, respect to others. Respect to what about others? That's a question I was asking myself. Like, respect to what? We are going on Sankirtan this afternoon. So we are going to see people who look happy. They look happy, they're on the street, St. Augustine, enjoying, there is beautiful store, maybe they go to the beach, and it's Saturday, there is the best ice cream around. It's just like, it's so nice, and there is no car, it's like old town. It's funny, like St. Augustine is old. Coming from Europe is just like nothing. But anyway, for people around America, it's something very special because it's an old town. And so people look like they're enjoying, so we can say, well, I'm giving all respect to others, so I'm not going to disturb them. Let me not disturb them, let chant not too loud, or let me not give a book to them because they're enjoying right now. So let me give all respect to others and respect them in their illusion, respect them in their phantasmagoria of being happy and be comfortable in this world. So what does that mean to give all respect to others? And that's another thing I was thinking, what do we respect? What part do we respect? What does that mean? I'm respecting people. I'm respecting their belief. So I leave them be in illusion. That's not respect, it's violence. That's not respect, it's violence. To allow people to be in illusion is violence, it's not respect. So in the name of respect, there's so many nonsense going on, so much sentimentality. Somehow sentimentality is something that irks me. But anyway, sentimentality. Yeah, I said sentimental. Sentimental, so it's coming from sentiment. Sentimental, the root of that word is sense, senses, sentience. So sentimental is that we are coming from our senses. We are coming from feeling good, our mind feeling good. You like that, huh? Sentimental. Senses, like we are coming, so like, yeah, I don't want to disturb people. I don't want to disturb people because if I disturb them, what will happen? They may not like me.
That's scary.
That's scary. Yeah, that's very, very scary. Yeah. So I become sentimental, but sentimentality is just from our senses. It's just come from our concoction of our mind that we need to be liked, we need to be loved, we need to be appreciated. And of course, our responsibility is to be respectful to others and then to give the medicine, to be a good doctor. A good doctor is expert in giving the medicine. A good doctor is very, very capable of doing diagnostic to see what's happening with that person. Really, like, very quickly. Like, there is a doctor in Vrindavan I heard about, and he's an Ayurvedic doctor, and he's really helping people with terminal disease. So that's how it's amazing. And he's Indian. He doesn't speak English or anything. And he meets so many people, and they are just sitting in front of him. And he's expert. He's expert. He can diagnose people like just so very quickly and give them a medicine, give them the medicine to help them. So it's the same thing. To respect others is to see that they are sick, to see that I am sick. I am sick too. And I receive medicine. I receive medicine for people around me. I receive medicine to my Sangha, to my community. I receive so much medicine from Srila Prabhupada, who is like the ultimate hospital for us. And all other doctors come from that. Head surgeon. And so yes, as you know, like to step out of sentimentality, and that kind of respect, it's all about us. It's about our false ego, not being bruised by someone, not wanting us. So we avoid like really supporting people in their spiritual life, not because we are compassionate, not because we are respectful, but because we are scared. It's come from fear, and giving respect to others is also respecting where they are at, to really support. That's what I was looking at, is that to really, for us to give that compassion to ourselves, to meet ourselves where we are at and receive the medicine, and to meet others where they are at is respectful, but not in order to live there where they are at, or not in order to live ourselves where we are at. It's not about being complacent. Oh yes, I am lusty, or oh yes, I am struggling with overeating, or whatever we are struggling with. So we want to come to a place of honesty in order to develop humility, meet ourselves where we are at. And that's why Lord Brahma describes so much the material universe, for us to meet ourselves where we are at, because that's where we are at. And to do that without being complacent, with others too. So to meet people with respect, meaning respecting where they are at. And then to respect also, to respect the soul and the super soul inhabiting that human being. To really know, I see like on Sankirtan, it's amazing. We are going on book distribution today, so I kind of have that on the back of my mind as I'm speaking. And it's amazing the experience that I had, and others have, of just going very quickly with people and getting them a book in their hand, and to see how there's something deep awakening all of a sudden, like piercing off all the conditioning, and be feeling so attractive. And then the mind come back, and like the conditioning come back. However, to really be aware, like, yes, that person looks that they're enjoying. They're in St. Augustine, they are going with their ice cream, they have so much pleasure in family life. They're all with their wife and their children. It's so attractive and so much pleasure in family life, isn't it? There's so much pleasure in family life. Anyway, it's like almost life as it is on Facebook. And
It's going to be sunny, beautiful weather.
it was sunny, beautiful weather, not too hot, not too cold, the crispiness of the air. So much enjoyment there. So yes, to be respectful that no, this is really suffering. The soul is suffering, because the nature of the soul is to be a servant of Krishna. Everybody is a servant of Krishna. So a spirit soul, like, kind of rolling in the mud, like a pig is rolling in the mud and thinking like, oh, I am so happy rolling in the mud. And to be able to like respect people that, yeah, they're in illusion, that they are happy, and at the same time to show them that, oh, and there is higher happiness, higher taste, higher level of happiness. It exists. And in that moment, when we meet people and they have a Bhagavad Gita in their hand, often they become really sincere and honest. Like, yes, maybe I have a smile on my face, but deeply I'm so dissatisfied. Deeply I'm so lost. I don't know who I am. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what's the purpose of my life. And I have so much struggle all the time, because that's what the material energy is about, struggle. And even if there is some people who are maybe more in the mode of goodness, and maybe they're experiencing a higher level of material happiness, it's still that material happiness is like compared to a drop in comparison to the happiness of impersonal liberation. Yeah. And impersonal liberation, which is free from material attachment, is compared to the water contained in a hoof print, like the hoof print of a calf. The water that's contained in that is the happiness coming from impersonal realization, or from liberation, let's say liberation from material misery. That's how much happiness there is in comparison to the ocean of happiness that comes from devotional service. So even if they have some type of happiness, we know, well, yes, maybe you have a part of the ocean, even so I don't believe they exist, those people, right now in Kali Yoga anyway. Then we can say, wow, here is the ocean, and support them to connect with that. Because we know that's really full respect. Full respect is challenging people, not with attachment, really being completely non-attached and challenging the limitation of their worldview. Being caring enough, being a real friend, to being able to be in front of people and challenging the limitation of their worldview. That's super respectful. Respecting that there is a super soul inside everybody's heart. To be respectful of everyone is to remember that everyone is all you need is love, and love to Krishna. So everyone is a servant of Krishna. So we want to also approach people with that kind of respect, that you're a servant of Krishna, 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 and Krishna loves you. Krishna loves you so much, and the super soul is inside your heart. So yes, to offer respect to others is to respect that they are all servants of Krishna, and it's not about being sentimental and really knowing what I'm respecting. Am I respecting their conditioning and their false illusion, or I'm respecting them because they are servants of Krishna? So that's to offer all respect to others, and in such state of mind, one can chant the holy name constantly And when we chant the holy name constantly, we are fulfilling the mission of our spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada. And chanting the holy name of the Lord means to constantly glorify the Lord, to be with others. And by glorifying the Lord, we purified ourselves and we purified others. Like Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he had a song about Lord Nityananda, and he said like he opened the marketplace of the holy name, and he said in that marketplace, if you have someone selling the holy name, you get these tips. So when we go on Sankirtan, when we go chanting in the streets, when we distribute books, when we speak, so we certainly are there out of compassion to help others. And we get so much value. I know after a few hours of Sankirtan, I feel like I took an eternal cold shower. No, cold shower doesn't feel too good, but afterwards it feels so energizing and so amazing. So the Sankirtan distributing books is like taking, for me at least, you feel like taking an internal cold shower. I feel so clean after 2 or 3 hours of book distribution. Anyway, I'm going to stop here. Varshapuga sahashrante tadandam udakeshayam kalakarma swabhavasto jivo jivam ajivayat. Thus, all the universes remained thousands of eons within the waters of causal ocean, and the Lord of living beings entering in each of them caused them to be fully animated. Hare Krishna, thank you for listening. Is there any comment, question, discussion? Gajendra Prabhu.
I want to make a comment, but first I just want to, acknowledge that I'm really feeling a little affected and giving consideration to how you brought this to Sankirtan and viewing people. That's something I think I'm going to be thinking about later. The comment that I'm wanting to make about that, like giving all respect to others, is, first it's just connecting just sort of like in a simple way to, humility, not being so arrogant or proud, but humility. That's the simple aspect of it. For me, on a bigger view, it's tapping into how it's all Krishna, the unity aspect of it. In other words, if you're giving respect to all others, all, not like as a like in the Bhagavad Gita, it talks about the sage with his equal vision. Mm-hmm. You're not dividing like, I like this, I don't like this, this is Krishna, this isn't Krishna, And so I think it's really about getting into that place of purity.
Equal vision.
Yeah, and purity that goes along with having that equal vision, not having that mind of judgment. Mm-hmm. And that's all. It's about this.
That's what's happening for you. It's like, nothing is separated from Krishna. So to see everything from Krishna's eyes, sometimes I feel like, okay, to see everything like Krishna sees.
Everything that's happening is under Krishna's control.
Everything is under Krishna's control.
Everything, even somebody's doing something, they're playing a role that's representing Krishna in your reality.
They are Krishna's instruments. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, that aspect where even if one is unconscious, they're still a servant of Krishna.
Even if someone is unconscious, they are servants of Krishna, and then we can support them to wake up. Mm-hmm. Yes. Even everyone is servant of Krishna, and that's the full respect. To see everyone, like everyone in the street, everyone like you're a servant of Krishna, and you forget about it.
So something, I guess, touching into the Uttama Adhikar.
Yeah, Uttama Adhikar, and at the same time, that platform of Uttama Adhikari and seeing everybody as serving Krishna. it's a very elevated platform, and at the same time it's explained that in order to preach, in order to support the mission of the Lord, which is to reclaim all the conditioned soul, the automatically will come to the Madhyam platform to make distinction, because we want to learn to make distinction. Without those distinctions, then yeah, everybody is a servant of Krishna and go to hell. There's no compassion there. And so, of course, the Uttama Adhikari is full of compassion. However, because he has a vision of eternity, he is not able to make those distinctions. So he comes back down to the Madhya Adhikari place in order to make those distinctions.
I'm not sure if he comes down as much as he's able to stay there and not be almost stuck in the Uttama stage, but for his service, he's able to
For his service.
Reach down.
Yes.
And make that distinction without.
Yeah, he's not living his purity.
Yeah.
Yes, he's not living his purity. He's there completely realized. However, in order to serve the mission of the Lord, then he comes to a place of making distinction. Yeah. Thank you for sharing. Anything else? Yes, Ladini, can you turn the thing?
No, I have a quick comment. I just want to appreciate your class. I really like how you like the description of the universal creation, how you narrow it down to our insignificant. I like that. And then second thing that I really liked, and I just want to repeat it loud to remember, is that how you connected the truthfulness with your humility. And it's very interesting what you said, that this is the only left of religion, and then that itself, because that's the only that we have left anyway, it's itself it's probably sufficient for this age.
Yes.
And it's really hard.
Yes. And that's what leads to humility. Yes. Yes. And the insignificant, sometimes we take the example of the ant. You know, there was an ant in this wall. Well, the ant is going and thinking okay, I know everything. And then the ant have no idea that we have a Srimad Bhagavatam class here. The ant have no idea how this house took place, or that we redid the roof, or that we need to mow the lawn. The ant is just on the wall, and maybe you have an ant hill somewhere, and doesn't really know what's happening.
The ant is thinking that it's his path, and if you are going to cross his path, he's going to bite you or something.
Something like that. The ant is a complete illusion that I know everything about what's happening here. There is me, there is other ants, and there is the ant hill, and then I have no clue of the SC system and the people who clean the house or the people who cook and make prashadam. That the ants have no clue.
A few years ago, I was actually seeing some ants because I sit down on the grass and they were bringing a piece of sand to the sand hill, and I thought it doesn't make any sense. Why would I carry it from there to there when the sand is everywhere? But that's what we do.
That's what we do. We carry every day I see cars.
The tracks
Yeah.
with them.
Yes. Yeah, car moving there, so many people, they drive all the way to Gainesville, so many people drive all the way to Alachua.
But not only the people, but in Czech Republic, you can buy garlic from China, but
That's true. Thank you for your sharing. Yeah. Srimad Swakita Krishna, Punya Shavami Kirtana, Vidyantasto, Yabarani. We do notice so it's that it's Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, with the super soul in everyone's heart, clean the heart from material desire of the truthful devotee. So it's truthfulness again. It's truthfulness is a key. And the more I'm practicing Krishna consciousness, the more I can see that there is nothing else that's going to save me. I'm not going to overcome my shortcoming. I'm not going to overcome my weakness. But if I try to fight them, make them wrong, or make them right, or allow myself to make excuses or justifying them, for sure I will stifle my advancement. If I'm just coming yeah, that's it. That's what it is, and really acknowledging them, then I can see the so much revelation come from that. Yeah. Like, yes, Daniel?
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Hi, Krishna. So I just wanted to express appreciation for your sharing this morning, especially your personal revelations. I really enjoy hearing more of your process. That's helpful for me. And I wanted to ask, related to this topic, which I find very fascinating and relevant, especially for, Sankirtan and just daily interactions with other people. So my question is, so Savatov, being built on spiritual principles found in the Srimad Bhagavatam and the Bhagavad Gita, emphasizes so much this concept of expert in your own life. This is like a core principle of each of us having to meet ourselves where we're at, we're the expert in our own life. It's kind of a theme. So balancing that idea of everyone has their own rhythm and their own, unique process and, life stream. And then of course, we also want to share our own understandings and our own self, through self-revealing and inquire confidentially and the whole thing, all of the stuff outlined in the Nectar of Instruction, like how we could help each other, move closer with our own guidance and from a spirit of love. And even on Sankirtan, of course, like just exposing people to Bhakti Yoga and the holy name and all of that. But my question is, I've seen this go badly sometimes. I've seen it go badly where even in devotee association, there's like a lot of conflict, when one person tries to impart some wisdom onto someone else and they're maybe not ready for it, or they disagree, or it's not part of their process or something, and it becomes kind of a, like what we would call a roadblock, like an advising or like a judgment. Yeah, like it's not life promoting. It becomes kind of life alienating and distracting, and people are like, well, you need to quote a verse before you can answer my question, and I want to know that you can know some Sanskrit, so tell me about this Bhagavad. It's like goes into a really weird place sometimes. So I guess my question, to be succinct, is how do we, what's the fine line between helpful guidance that really is enriching and life promoting versus something that's roadblocking and crushing the Bhakti Lakta Bij and like really distracting from Krishna consciousness? Like, how do we know when someone's an expert in their own life and they're really, whatever, maybe they need to stand outside of the catamaran and get lashed by the waves for a few more, minutes before they're ready to come inside the boat. I don't know. So I know you have a lot of experience in this area, so I'd be interested to hear like what your take is on that fine line between expert in your own life versus like not turning it into an advisement. This is really going to be a life promoting sharing.
Thank you. I appreciate your question because it's so core. It's so core, and I can see how, like to balance out. If we just look at the principle of transformative communication, the first stage is to see the world from someone else's perspective. And to see the world from someone else's perspective doesn't mean we support that world, or doesn't mean that we make that world right, or that we make that world wrong. But to meet people where they are at, like you said, is like, it's very important. I know even on Sankirtan, I take the time to listen to people, to be with them, for them to really feel that they are respected in that way. They are respected, that I'm not making assumption about them or that whatever life experience they have has no value. So like to really be with them and to see the world from their perspective and building trust. And when that trust is there, then the second stage of transformative communication is to see the world from a broader perspective. And the broader perspective is given here by Lord Brahma. Mm-hmm. It's quite broad. And so to enter the world of someone, and I will say it's more like a consciousness, like the distinction I will make is to see the world from someone's perspective is not necessarily like supporting that world as, a conducive, like you said, like, okay, some people, they may be convinced that if I smoke cigarette, it's good for me. Yeah. They may be convinced that, okay, well, I have knowledge in medicine, I know it's going to damage their lungs. I know that it's going to, damage their teeth, damage their, digestive, whatever. I know something about smoking cigarettes. Still, they are in their illusion. They think, no, smoking cigarette is good. It's good for me. I like it. And they find all kind of excuses why smoking cigarette is good for them. I've seen people doing that.
It gives me creative inspiration.
It's gives me creative inspiration, and it's really helped me connect with people. And
For IBS, that's the newest one I've heard. It helps with irritable bowel syndrome.
Whatever. So many people are going to find excuses why smoking cigarette is good. So I know I have knowledge about smoking cigarettes. But it won't do a lot if I say, well, no, smoking cigarette is bad. And then argue, yes, good, not is bad. And it's about like stepping out of the smoking cigarette in sense to see the soul and the super soul, and trusting that this person has the highest guidance in their heart. And then that there is also a suffering soul there that really suffer from being conditioned in that body. And to meet them where they are, like, yes, to be able to say, yes, for you, smoking cigarette is something you want to do. And what I see, because truthfulness is the last leg of religion, to at least support people to come to honesty. That's the first step. If people come to that honesty that, yes, in fact, I'm just addicted to cigarettes, that will be such a huge step. No, they may not come to a place like, oh, I need to stop cigarettes. They may not come to a place of like, yes, I'm going to not only not take cigarette, but stop everything I'm doing and follow 4 years principle and send 16 rounds. For sure not. But I feel very satisfied if I hold space for someone, meeting them where they're at, and support them to come to that truthfulness, honesty, stopping the rationality, stopping the excuses for what they are doing, to say, yes, in fact, I'm doing that because I want to fit in. I'm doing that because I like it, but I know it's really not good. I can feel it. I can smell it. I know I'm coughing in the morning. I know that I'm really suffering. That's because the start of spiritual life is inquiry. To come to a platform of asking questions. It's not receiving the answer or not knowing the answer. It's coming to ask questions. Who am I? What's the goal of human life? Why am I here? So to honesty, to wherever they are at, if people come, we can support people to be honest, that they are miserable and they are addicted or whatever. That platform is already so conducive to lead them to, after that, asking question. Yeah, I'm suffering. Why am I suffering? Why am I so unhappy that I need to take my cigarette? Why am I here? And so that means like really meeting people where they are at. True empathy, we said like when the self is received, it expands. So when we receive people, we know the expansion is going to take place. And the expansion, if it can take place and go to a place of truthfulness, honesty with oneself, that's such a big step.
So I'm hearing to create a conversation, so open a conversation with them, and through empathy, allow them to express themselves until they feel understood, and then building on that becomes a relationship of trust in which we can gently serve as mirrors to get them to understand the truthfulness of what it is that is occurring, and then they will naturally be drawn to making their own changes.
I feel
that's really helpful. Thank you so much, Malini.
If we choose, if we choose to spend our time like that. Yeah.
I appreciate the exchange, just to support everything said here. From some letters from Srila Prabhupada in December 1972, Prabhupada wrote a letter to Bhagavatam, William Ogle, Sappatova Advanced Course graduate. And Prabhupada writes, because actually Bhagavatam, he was like getting involved in politics, running for like mayor of Atlanta or something like that. Actually, I read a letter recently, so I'm going on a tangent. Prabhupada wrote to Nalini Kanta Prabhu when Nalini Kanta was running for mayor of Phoenix, Arizona. Some interesting history here. So anyhow, Prabhupada wrote to Balavanti, he wrote, if we want to attract intelligent people to this Krishna consciousness movement, we need to be really good listeners. And he cites the example of Lord Chaitanya listening in silence for many days to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. And Prabhupada says, appreciating their points of view. It doesn't mean agreeing with it, as you said. And so this, and then there's other letters in the same time frame where Prabhupada writes, he goes, in one letter he writes, the highest development of your Krishna consciousness will be when you're able to communicate these universal principles in such a way that anyone will get it. Meaning we're talking to some simple person in the village, we're talking to a group of professors, we're talking to scientists, we're talking to shopkeepers, with that we're so connected, we're so realized in the principles and so empathic. Prabhupada's talking about empathy. That's the foundational stage. We're so empathic to where someone's at that we're able to communicate the principles. We'll find the language, we'll find the tone of voice, we'll find the way to do it in such a way that that people will feel supported to connect with their highest guidance within. So in those letters, Prabhupada's integrating these two stages: the foundational stage of meet people where they're at, and give a sublime transcendental perspective that inspires spiritual growth.
Thank you.
Malini, you want to say something?
You say it.
I said he really liked the class.
Oh, thank you, Nalini. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
We shared just something with the children's book. It reminded me of where you were speaking about a tree giving and it's happy.
No.
Like that,
Yeah.
tolerant like a tree. There's a book called The Giving Tree.
Shel Silverstein.
Shel Silverstein, yeah. So the tree is the boy in the tree. The boy just likes to play on the tree and climb the tree, and the tree's happy. And the boy gets older and he wants money to be in the world. So the tree says, take my apples and go sell them in the city, and you'll have money and you'll be happy. So the boy takes all the apples and the tree is happy. And then the boy grows older and he comes back and he's not happy. He says, I need a house so I can get a wife, and then I'll be happy. And the tree says, cut down my branches. Cut down the branches and you can build yourself a house, then you'll be happy. So the boy takes all the branches and he builds a house, and the tree's happy. And then he's getting to be an old man now. He comes back and he's not happy. He says, he's like, now I want a boat so I can just sail away from here, and then I'll be happy if I just sail away and get away from it all. So the tree says, cut down my trunk, make yourself a boat, and you can sail away, and then you'll be happy. So then the boy does that. He's an old man now, and so all that's left is a stump. And at that point, it says the tree's happy, but not really, at that point. But still, the tree's happy. And so then the old man comes back again, and he's not happy. He's just tired. The tree's saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, I don't have apples for you to take anymore, branches for you to climb on and play. I don't have anything left to give." And the old man said, "I just need somewhere just to sit quiet, and then I'll be happy." And there's just a stump left. He said, "Well, the tree said, the stump is good for sitting, so please take a seat." So then the old man finally sits, and the tree's happy. And I think the old man's happy at that point. But that gave me... That book is it's very moving, maybe sentimentally, but there's controversy about it. What does it really mean? But I appreciated that part. Whenever you said about time, like a tree just giving and it's happy, and that book really highlights that for me. And maybe for me.
Thank you. It's a beautiful, moving story. Children's story. And and it seems also that it highlights the illusion of happiness for the boy.
Yeah.
That's regardless the money, regardless the wife, regardless the house, the children, regardless the boat, regardless anything, that is not happy. And then the tree that's just selflessly serving without really being so self-serving, and seems to be happy throughout. Yeah, that sounds special. Thank you for sharing.
So what is the experience of Kalpa Vriksha? Kalpa Vriksha trees.
Kalpa Vriksha trees, yeah.
What is their experience of
That's just
giving, fulfilling desires?
They are completely aligned with Krishna's desire. So their desire is aligned with Krishna's desire. So they are completely always happy. And in a sense, that's where we are invited to go. But the whole process of Bhakti Yoga is to become that Kalpa Vriksha tree, like where Krishna's desire becomes our desire, and where all our desire is going to be pleasing to Krishna, and to manifest whatever in our desire that we know is going to be pleasing for Krishna.
It's exactly the prayers related to obeisances to the Vaishnavas. So connecting again to your talking about Sankirtan, like really being in that place of a Vaishnava is like a wish-fulfilling desire tree in the highest. Yeah.
To have compassion for the fallen conditioned soul. So that compassion, like I know when I go in the streets, I feel pain. To feel that, to really allow ourselves to feel that pain of the conditioned soul. Yeah. Anything else? Priel?
This realization landed on me while you were talking. Maybe it's obvious, but that sometimes I think that like I'm the worst, or I'm like not good enough, and that's the same thing as thinking I'm super significant. It's like the flip side of that, and it's interesting. There's also many subtle nuances in these principles, because the principle is to see ourselves as insignificant, but there's also an extreme of that where if I'm seeing myself as so insignificant, it's the same thing as seeing myself as the most significant. And there's that story
it's
where,
like a grandeur.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
that
so
story.
Yes.
Where one of Prabhupada's disciples was like, I'm the most fallen, and he's like, you're not the most anything.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm not the most fallen. I'm not, I'm not like the low self-worth, and it's indulgence. It's self-indulgence, low self-worth, and it's very different than unity. And I'm significant. I'm lower than the worm in the stool, like Krishnadas Kaviraj says. It's really, and he's really feeling it. He's really feeling like lower than the worm in the stool. But there is no, it's humility. There is no low self-worth in that. It's no low self-worth in that. Yes, to say like, I'm not good enough, or all those things. It's just the flip side of wanting to be important, wanting to be someone special. And then if we let go of the wanting to be special, then we can also let go of low self-worth.
The non-sentimental test is if our humility is moving us away from enthusiasm for devotional service, then it's material and it's arrogance. And if the humility, the actual humility, we can see like with Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami or Srila Prabhupada, their actual humility is moving them to even deeper inspiration to serve Lord Chaitanya's movement and to chant Hare Krishna with full presence. So that's like the test we can see. Whether this is a grungy with a payoff, it's an arrogant thing in the thin guise of humility, or whether it's actually spiritual. What is it moving us to devotional service, or is it moving us away from, I'm so fallen, I'm not even good enough to chant. Wow, I am so special.
Also, another test is how I see others. Like with the chief humility, I see others like more advanced than myself. And with the false humility, I'm like, oh, the others are so arrogant.
You said something to me once in a session that was really profound. felt like you were channeling it, and I've heard you say it many times since then, that like the difference between humility and humiliation. And that like always stuck with me, like choosing humility rather than self-humiliation. And then I've also heard, I don't know if it was you or Dear Govinda say, like true humility is knowing our role, and that's really stuck with me because so much in my service I've gone through these cycles of hiding, of not wanting to be seen, and then it's really been helpful to connect with like true humility is knowing that my role is to show up, that my role is to accept the responsibility of being seen, to accept the service of being seen. And that's not like an arrogance. It's like
That's a responsibility.
Yeah.
Yes. So out of arrogance, we go into humiliation. Out of arrogance that I should be respected, or I should be someone special, or I. Then we go into humiliating ourselves because we are emotionally attached to expectation to be bigger than who we are. And then we constantly flagellate ourselves, like kill ourselves, so humiliating ourselves. And that's not humility, that's arrogance. And then, to make that distinction is very helpful. Very helpful for you, and it's very helpful for me too. And then, and then to know our position. Dear Govinda says that a lot. Humility is to know our position, servant of Krishna. And as servant of Krishna, we are supposed to be super big. Super big. Exactly. It's our responsibility to be big.
Yeah.
Bold.
And out there and outrageous and taking risk and being responsible and stepping out of being controlled by fear and all that. It's our responsibility. Like, okay, I'm servant of Krishna. Then now I'm free. I'm free to really be like giving 100% and showing up and being seen. Yeah, big time.
Because sometimes humility, so we should just let our boundaries be violated. But like how you just expressed it, humility is completely compatible with bold assertiveness. Not for my ego needs, but for service. So Jesus, in anger, turning over the tables in the temple in Jerusalem, Prabhupada being the fiery preacher, and Bhaktisiddhanta being the lion guru, that's humility and bold assertiveness on behalf of Krishna.
Yeah.
Not me. Not me.
Not you. Yes, you are going to be bold and big for Krishna. You're already big for Krishna. You coming with us to book distribution?
At the Red Fest? No.
Or you go to the Veg Fest? We are going to St. Augustine for book distribution.
What?
Grant to us, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Bye-bye.
Hi Krishna. Hi Krishna. All four of you. Haribol, Haribol.
Sorry, Krishna.